Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of TNO as the West Russian Revolutionary Front. So welcome back. Last episode we had just finished beating Vietka, and we got in a border conflict to the north, and are waiting and preparing to invade Samara. Also, sorry if things are a bit laggy. I'm trying to edit one of the videos down or the last episode down right now, and I wanted to get another video so I can kind of just do them one after another. I think I'm probably gonna not edit this one while I record the next one because it will be a bit laggy. And we have one in the north, which is very good. Let us send everyone to the south again. What are we doing right now for a focus? Just securing the population, and then we're going to be able to skip most of this. We might have to do that, but I'll probably skip over that as well. Gosh, we have a lot to go down, and then that is the final one. Final focus. Or, not focus, but unification focus. And then we have to get down to Legendary and Invincible. That'll give us a really good bonus. A very good bonus. And, yeah. And I gotta do my research. Let's get Schwerpunkt. So this episode, we're gonna basically just finish up unifying. We're gonna get Samara. Hopefully, then that will allow us to actually. What do I need to integrate? I need to integrate a bunch of people. Do 1 and 2. Yeah, so we should be able to restore it. That shouldn't. Okay, upon the Omega issue, which is here. So we still have a little while to go. But we should be able to unify, and I think I'm probably going to cut out, not a lot, but a little bit here and there, because it's going to be a very long, no, I need everyone to go down here. There we go. This is probably going to take a very long time to get through, and a lot of it is just going to be like, oh, we went in here, we did some stuff, you know, we lost some stability, we gained some stability, you know, whatever it may be. And then after we unify, we're going to have a lot of just political stuff to go on through, and then we should be in a position to march east. And maybe west, we're going to see. I don't know what Germany is going to do. That's kind of what it comes down to. Germany is doing their initial stuff, but once they do War Plan 0, that's not gonna hurt us. That's not super concerning. It's when we get to War Plan A, and then especially when we get to B, well, we have to worry. C is also concerning, but that's not as bad, because we're already gonna be dealing with stuff when they get to B. Wait, who's justifying? Samara is justifying on us. That's gonna make things easy. Yep. They're gonna overthrow us. Sail Arkhangelsk. Well, we've got our army here. Okay, we're gonna go, let's bypass that. And yes, the radio's back again. I didn't check. I probably should have. I have a feeling that the audio isn't that bad. Like, it isn't overpowering. I did turn it up a little bit, so as much as I want to hear the song of the Volga Boatman blaring in the background of all my videos, I also would like you guys to be able to hear me, so that's a bit more important, I think. Yeah, so, oh, we got some stuff. What are we missing for any equipment? Nothing, really. I might want to just continue making tanks. Some more main battle tanks. Alright, so with this, we are going to, I'm probably going, well, we're about to invade them, or they're about to try to invade us. I don't even know what these are trying to go for. Game, don't crash, come on, let's not do this. Yeah, seriously, the editing, I was like, oh, it shouldn't be that bad, I'm not gonna have that, like, I'm gonna have a lot of breaks because this is gonna take so long. But we're here now, so. Oh, and I need to get rid of these extra anti-fascist battalions. We don't really need them. I'm gonna keep ours because we're eventually gonna need light infantry. But Yes. So also, sorry if I'm a little quiet this episode. I'm just kind of, I'm not like tired, I want to say, but I'm just kind of, so I don't have the same energy as in the first few episodes. And I think I probably have said this last episode. Sorry for being a little slow. Yeah, last episode as well, because that was just me kind of being tired of having to record the same thing like 3 times. But luckily I saved this time and didn't go off of an auto save. So, oh, I need to deploy my Air Force. Oh, okay, they're with them. We just don't have air superiority in one area. That's not good. We should be good. We should be fine now. I don't think there really is any good ways for them to encircle us. So, right, Samara, since they're the collaborators essentially, like the main ones. Though, I could go into the politics of Samara. They're the ROA, no, the RLA. Though I think that's not what they're called in this, because they're the KOHP. I know this is not an H. I'm well aware that that is in Russian and not English, so that is not an H, but I'm gonna Americanize it. Yeah, so since we're invading them, and we'll never see them again, I would like to talk a little about them, because I did this before. Like, that was kind of my idea, was that as I go through and invade certain people, I talk about the history behind them and why they're in this mod and whatnot. And so for the Russian Liberation Army, which is what these guys are, they also were dealing with the Nazis that used to be here, the Aryan leaders. Yeah, so because of during World War II, to be honest, I don't really know why they're here, because I wouldn't think that obviously not everything went the exact same way, right? Not even close. So it's kind of strange that presumably Vaslov in this is supposed to basically have, like, no matter what, he would have surrendered to the Germans and offered himself, instead of going to a POW camp, to form the Russian Liberation Army, which was, kind of the Bolsheviks are evil, Stalin's killing us all, which, like, when you have Stalin saying, hey, I'm going to murder anyone who deserts, then you're going to get a few people who are like, okay, I'd rather join the Germans and have a chance to return home, even if I come back as an exile in an occupied land, than to come back to Stalin to get shot, right? So that was kind of the idea of it, was that it's better to join the Germans than to die at the hands of the Red Army. So, because of that, you have the ROA, who, Vaslov, who was a general in Leningrad, he tried to relieve Leningrad. He failed in his assault, and in that failed assault, when he was captured, he had said, well, he didn't really propose it. It was already kind of a thing, but it wasn't actually a thing. It was propaganda made up by the Germans to get the Soviets to join the Germans, thinking that, okay, we're gonna say that there's a Russian Liberation Army, and then if you join us, everything's great, and we're fighting against the Bolsheviks, and so a few people who might be sympathetic would join. But there never was an actual division or anything. Most likely they would have just been put in as, like, anti-partisan. Also, my game is crashing again, which is a great sign. So, as these anti-partisan troops and whatnot, they were inherently, fighting the war, just not literally, in the sense of being on the front line and shooting at Russians. They're just shooting at Russians in the back line. And so, through that, Vasilov basically said, what if I actually form this? And so, Hitler didn't really want that. The High Command didn't really want that. They were like, you can kind of promote, like, join the Germans, fight the Russians, that's fine, but we're not gonna, like, give you troops or anything. And so, that was kind of his thing, was that he just worked with Goebbels, and they set up this elaborate thing to make it seem like there was a bunch of Russians joining the Russian Liberation Army because they hated the Bolsheviks and they wanted to, bring back the Tsar or whatever, right? um, bring a new republic or something like that. So, with that, um, that kind of got pretty popular on the front lines. If you heard anyone who was thinking about joining the Germans, they were talking about joining Vaslov in the Russian Liberation Army. And we're going to destroy any remnants of the sympathizers in the Brotherhood. So, near the end of the war, getting in when Germany's getting low, Himmler goes and talks to Hitler and says, "Listen, okay, that has so Omsk is winning in the east, old Dmitry Yazov, and then the Ural League just expanded to actually, are they at war? No, okay, they're in an alliance. And Orenburg and the Ural League just took out the NKVD in the mountains. We're gonna, yep, okay. So Himmler was like, listen, we're running low on troops. I've worked with the Russians before, because Himmler was really weird, and even though he was trying to promote this, like, pure German army, and, the SS being, like, the elite, there was also a lot of recruitment of, Russians and Ukrainians, especially Ukrainians, because of how much they suffered under Stalin. They were very susceptible to just feeling like, you should get revenge. And they're like, yeah, we should. So they went through and joined the SS, right? So Himmler was like, well, what if we actually make this a division? They're not going to leave. Like, they're already here. It's either joining us or being shot. Oh, and we have one. And so during the late war, I'm about to continue talking about this because I don't have anything else to talk about. But late war, they were formed into an actual division. I don't think they really did much, like actual combat. Though something did happen during. Oh, we gotta integrate everything again. And I'm not gonna form West Russia yet because we just need to get through all of these things. Democracy returns to Italy. That's nice. So we're gonna have probably gonna be a very democratic game with a big goring. So that should be interesting. Yes, so the only real combat they're kind of famous for, New Poland is kind of doing well. I'm surprised. Well, what they're famous for is in Prague, they started fighting against the Red Army, right? And then the Germans left and were gonna destroy Prague. That was their idea. Was don't let the Soviets take anything. So they're gonna burn down Prague, and the Russian Liberation Army was like, well, they didn't really, I don't think it was that they cared that, like, oh, we care about the people of Prague. They were like, what else are we going to do? And so they rose up against the Germans and fought with the Czech resistance, and they helped communist partisans and, all that. So then, because they were, the main thing that they wanted to do was they wanted to get west, because they knew if they went to the Soviets, they were going to be shot as traitors, right? There's no getting around that. So they were like, well, we're going to rebel against the Germans, whether that was because of the kindness of their heart, or they didn't have an option, or they wanted to make themselves look good. Because that's one of the big things with the Russian Liberation Army, and, like, thinking about what happened with them and how to feel about them in, I think we're gonna get a thing to read. And, like, yeah. She was proud to the front of a very long war. He had seen hundreds of them die, felt the touch of starvation and frostbite. He had come out of it with all he considered nerves of steel. The perfect soldier. The scene before him made him forget all that in a moment. Okay, into the surrounding outposts was the smell, familiar the smell of death, but hadn't smelt so much of it. A line of surrendered guards were pushed against the wall by a squad of men fanned out into the outpost. Perhaps slave pen was a better term. Okay, yeah. So, basically, because these were, and this is the Aryan Brotherhood that we just took over, they basically made concentration camps in West Russia. And we have liberated them to the best That's the best term I think you can come up with. And we kill all the guards and are now helping the people out of their horrible condition, because it was pretty horrible in the Aryan Brotherhood compared to the rest of Western Russia. Because it doesn't matter if it was the Samarians or the Komi, or even in the West Russian Revolutionary Front. Obviously, life hasn't been great in any of these states that we've conquered, or in our own. But especially as the Russian minority in a German majority area, with the cruelty of the invader, as I'm just gonna leave it as, yeah, things were very bad. Yes, so the Russian Liberation Army, again, that's kind of thing. Did they join the Germans because they really believed that, liberating Russia was the best and killing the Bolsheviks was the best, or was it just to get out of being killed, right? And I think it can be argued with Vasilov, it's kind of messy, right? With like the initial high command, it's messy. I think some of the lower, you can argue that both, right? Both happened. There probably were some people who truly believed that bringing back a new Russia was the best, and that the Germans were the only way to do it. But you also probably had people who were like, I don't want to be shot, and so I'm going to join the Russian Liberation Army, so I might get shot, but at least I'm fighting combat, and I'm not, going to a prisoner of war camp, because the Soviets were not treated well in prisoner of war camps. Very poorly. And so, so in Prague, they rose up against the Germans, and then they marched west. But they got intercepted by communist partisans and some Red Army. It was kind of like peace by... Jeez, and these people really, really want to fight me. In the... Where else was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, some of them got intercepted by the communist partisans. Some got intercepted by one of the tank columns going through Czechoslovakia, and Vasilov himself was captured by a band of Red Army soldiers, and they were all murdered. I say murdered. They were tried as traitors, which I think is, even though it wasn't good, they fought against the Germans. They were soldiers of the Red Army, but they also worked for the Germans, right? So they were tried as traitors, and then Vasilov was hanged, and then that was kind of the end of it. Right now, this is why this is kind of relevant, other than just in game, is that in Prague and other surrounding areas in the Czech Republic, there was a push to remove Soviet imagery of Konev, and because Konev don't get me wrong, he was a very good general, but he also was very brutal in his execution of it, as most Red Army soldiers were, or not even just soldiers, but generals were. And so there's been a push to remove his imagery of him being the liberator, and talking about the Russian Liberation Army as they weren't liberators, but they helped, right? And they didn't have to. That was the other thing. Like, they could have just left and gone to the Americans, and they probably would have been handed over. That the Americans did a lot of that for expected reasons, but to keep good relations with the Soviets and all that. But they could have just gone and rushed to get to the Americans, and they probably would have lived, right? Maybe, possibility. But instead, they stayed and fought. And my game is crashing again because these autosaves are really, really taxing for some reason. Also, 1812 Overture got full cannons going right now. So that was, there's kind of a movement to make Vasilov and the Russian Liberation Army, accept what they did was wrong, but also say, there was some good that came out of it. And I really hope my Hoi4 doesn't crash, because I was gonna... I've just finished up my big rant. But actually, since we have just finished off Samara, I'm not going to end the episode quite here. I'm probably going to go for another few minutes. But I'm going to pause while this loads in, like this actually finishes saving. and then so you don't have to sit here and look at this crashing screen, and I don't either. And then I'll come back. I'll probably have done most of our liberation things. We're going to be going to war with Finland. That might happen next episode, though. But yeah, so I'll be right back. Okay, I have returned. So, a lot of things have happened since I paused. There's another civil war, and the big German African colony has been involved. There was just a revolution in Indonesia. Ho Chi Minh died, and New Poland is winning. I don't know how, but for some reason they are winning in Kazakhstan, and I think things have kind of changed. I don't know. I have a feeling New Poland's gonna win though. I'm a little disappointed though because I don't know, because I'm around 20 minutes and I'm just finishing up this section of our focus tree, which we still have a lot more to do before we can, because I can't really do it until I get the legendary and invincible and legendary, because the front is triumphant is extremely overpowered. So and that's because that's permanent. And it gives us political power gain, division recovery rate, and stability, and that is a really, really high amount. So I don't want to leave it where I haven't unified Western Russia, though. So disappointing. But I think next episode, we're gonna have to go take over Finland, and I'm probably gonna skip quite a bit of these focuses. Not because I don't want to show anything, but actually, probably explain what happened internally. We have been cleaning up, obviously, these areas. So, Tartarstan, we've integrated them, we've made them red, which I guess we've killed a few of them, and then we've made a military district out of them, which really doesn't do much. But the other big thing is that we took over an Islamic area of old Western Russia, and we did the weird in-between where we integrated... Oh yeah, in Italy, things are heating up in Italy. They went... Obviously, they were democratic before, but they went conservative democracy. And this is what they're looking like right now for their focus tree, which is pretty good. Democracy in the dark. Yeah. We got battle on the ice. Yeah. This is not really fitting for me just ending off an episode. So yes, I am gonna end the episode here though. And the Siberian Black Army has been expanding more. Just be quiet. I don't need to listen to your chants. Teutonic Knights. So probably when we're back, I will read the German influence, or what happens after we eradicate German influence, and then I will obviously be showing the Finnish War, and then do these two because it shouldn't take too long, and then Invincible Legendary, and from there we will one man stream fight. Okay, yes, so I follows this. Okay, I'm gonna read this one and then we're gonna end the episode. So Bashkir, I don't know where Bashkir is, to be honest. Must be, no, because that's Tatarstan, which is not what we're talking about, I think. Here, yes, Bashkir. Yeah, so this has been an area full of partisans, and we're following the story of an old partisan who used to fight against the Wehrmacht. And, you know, he was talking about what it was like to be a partisan, and how, you know, he'd already lost half a dozen good men to random sporadic attacks, a shot fired from the trees, a knife in the dark. These attacks filled him with a sense of dread they never felt all of his years struggling against the German war machine. Knowing that they would fight long and hard for their freedom, knew what it was like to be a partisan, knew it would take to lure him out. So he emptied out a town, and then the partisans came in to try to, you know, get food and whatnot. And then he hunted them down from there. Not forgot the enemy that lurked in the forest. So, one man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist, which, you know, So yeah, with that, I think I'm gonna end the episode. Next episode, we will have unified all of Western Russia. It will happen. Do not worry. This is just taking longer than I expected because I ramble a lot. But that's something new. Oh, also, okay, I know I said I made a tank division. They're very, very simple 20 widths. I'm training more troops. That's about it. Anyway, yes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry it was a little sloppy, especially with all the lag and whatnot. But I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.